Wednesday, July 18th, we've got the weekend staring us down a little bit, not too far from that. And it's always kind of awesome when you got the weekend looking at you. And Thursday's sometimes my favorite day, only because it's like there's a hump day thing on Wednesday, but Thursday, it's kind of cool. It's like, yeah, because you just got to burn out another day, Friday. And Friday's like a weekend, kind of, right? So anyway, National Weather Service has produced an extreme heat warning. Those are the areas in red, which are down underneath my picture here, which are like kind of out of the zone. So down towards Merced and down towards Bakersfield, where the heat's going to be very, very hot and concerning. The areas in orange for the Inland Bay region, this is us, is a heat advisory. It is the National Weather Service out of Monterey produces this. It makes sense because temperatures, especially in San Jose and the Silicon Valley area, are going to get into the upper 80s, low 90s, especially tomorrow. And that's a reason to pay attention, only because it's a lot of people live there. And I'm old school, but there was a time when people in San Jose, people in the peninsula, people in San Francisco, certainly Oakland, didn't have air conditioning. And when I lived in Berkeley, I went to school in Cal. We didn't have nobody had air conditioning, right? Very few people. But now I think people do, but some don't. There's a lot of buildings that don't. I needed that hit. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. There's fog, you know that. There's our area. A little bit of smoke from the Shelley fire. And then you've got some tropical moisture. That could trigger off some thunderstorms. That's just the North American monsoon. High rotates moisture up from the Gulf of California. But a beautiful satellite image. And it's nice to see not a lot of smoke. There is a little smoke up around Lake Tahoe. Not sure what that's from. There was there yesterday as well. Keep an eye on that. But it might just be lingering smoke because atmospherics are fairly stagnant right now. They're not really robust. And that stands helpful in terms of the firefighting efforts. There are fires burning in California, as we pointed out yesterday. But again, a lot of it's controlled burn stuff. It just is. And with the forecast, it's going to get hotter. It's going to get drier, which makes it very difficult for the men and women to fight fires. So just all the gear they wear. But when you take the wind out of the equation, they can crush these fires. And that's what they're doing. They're crushing these fires. They're not only getting them down and cutting line and getting containment down, but they're allowing some burn. They're allowing some natural burn in areas that they haven't burned in a while, which is, in my mind, anytime there's something burning. If you read a lot of California history like I do and did, I should be reading more, but like Up and Down California by Brewer, all-time, I think, best that Min to Match My Mountains, the other one. But they talk a lot, the early settlers talk a lot about how much smoke was in the air in California back when you wouldn't expect that, right? You go, well, there was nobody lived here. Well, there's lightning strikes, and Indians used fire to burn crops and create a better environment for their agriculture. And so it's a common denominator that there was a lot of smoke because there were always fires burning in California. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing at all. It's a recent thing since the Spaniards came, right? Spaniards brought on their horses' hooves, I think 1700s, they brought the wild oat, which is the grass that grows so tall out here. And the wild oat is the piece of the puzzle that makes California just explode in fire. Prior to that tall wild oat being around, prior to the Spanish being here, it was bunch grasses. They were you've seen bunch grasses. You see them around the coastal sections, certainly around Point Reyes and areas like that. Stuff doesn't burn. It's not 3 or 4 feet tall, and it's not tinder dry. It holds some moisture and so on and so forth. So this new thing of fires is relatively new, since the Spaniards brought it over on their horses' hooves. The place burns. And in the old days, in the 1800s, early 1900s, a lot of fires. And that's before they fight them, right? So these things would just burn and burn and burn. Okay, enough of that. This is the current temperature map, which I like. Look at the wind direction. First of all, like this barb right here, the red is gusting to 25. This is off Point Arena. Temperature's 54 degrees. And the wind direction is that line going into that ball. So wind direction here is off of Point Reyes. It is northwest, 22 miles an hour on the gust, 55 degrees. And so most of the wind directions are coming from the north. There's a little bit of south out here, but I think that's just anomalous. But the prevailing wind is north-northwest right now, and that's good for us. Although we are warming. This is Redding, just south of Redding, around Red Bluff. 90 degrees right now at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a warm day. 81 in Sacramento. This is where the heat advisory comes from. It's 67 in Napa right now. And what else we got? 63 down towards Santa Cruz. Down, it looks like about Pescadero. So as we look at the forward profiler, which I know you know how to use now, it is showing... It's not hard. You can get real granular with this thing, or you can go, and it's on my links page. You can go, oh, last night, because it runs, this is last night where my arrow is. It runs this way time, and you can see, look, oh, going to get warmer. Why? Because the inversion is pinched down. That's about 1,000 feet. Average coastal hills are about, if you just average them, it's about 1,000 feet. So the fog's not getting inland. The sea breeze ain't happening. In this pattern, it's going to stay. Actually, well, what's going to happen is it's going to flatline like this throughout the day tomorrow too, and might even get a little lower than that. That's the kind of day when the profiler gets shallow like that you see the North Tower or the Golden Gate Bridge poking through. So that's the profiler telling us, hey, fog is going to stay at the beach as we're seeing here. And you can see it. That's Ocean Beach, Central Ocean Beach. Let's see if I can get it to play live. There it is. Love that place. I kind of grew up there surfing a lot. This is a live camera shot off Surfline. You can see the cloud cover. Then what's happening now is that inversion, so shallow, the fog is stuck right at the coast, creates a real dense visibility thing. It's hard to see. The visibilities get low, and it gets cool. There might be a little couple breaks right along the coastline, like I think Bolinas and Stetson, you'll break out of the fog. Pacifica down at Lindemar, it faces a little south, so that breaks out of the fog today. Just going to be one of those days, but overall, the pattern is such that we are going to stay on the warm side. Basically, well, let's see. We got today, 97. That's going to be the hot spot, which isn't bad. And then tomorrow it peaks at 101. And then maybe again peaks on Monday. But these temperatures are not out of control. So what I just say, it's getting warmer. This isn't crazy. This is pretty typical. There is a heat advisory that will stay in effect through tomorrow. Cools off pretty quickly on Saturday and Sunday. And when you see these numbers, when you see this top tier numbers, you go, whoa, that is hot. That's really hot for Oakland, San Francisco. But the truth is, we really, most of us in the Bay Area live in these temperatures above the red line, right? So Oakland, San Francisco, 78, 70, 83. So that's the beauty of the Bay, right? That's why people settled. Well, there's a lot of reasons people settled in the Bay, but one of the reasons was the climate is awesome. Hope you got a good weekend planned. Hope you're using these tools because, again, you don't need me. I know. You don't need me. This is the kind of thing you can figure out on your own. And you are like me. I know you, again, you guys are watching, so you're like me. This helps you plan. Like I don't get shot down when I go to the beach. I don't get shot down when I go surf. I know when to go. And if you can, and you don't need somebody on TV pointing at stuff, interpreting it for you. You live here, you can interpret it yourself. And that's what my hope is, that you will do that, only because it's empowering and it's fun. Weather's awesome. It really is. So thanks for sitting through this. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm off Friday, so I'm actually going to get some of this south swell. So I probably won't be here tomorrow, but I'll probably be back on Monday.